It's green for go. They're racing.
He says go.
He says ta-da.
And Tiger Tara roars away from them on the home turn.
Here comes another big boil over.
Equine athleticism at its best. The king is in the castle once more.
This is in one race. The rest are almost in another postcode.
She is a star with a capital S.
It's going to be a triple treat, a miracle three-peat. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history here at Menangle. What about that?
It's getting right up on the sprint lane and it's going to bolt in.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Sprint Lane Podcast. Paul Cochrane with you. Fred Hastings, as always. Hello, Freddie.
G'day, Paul. How you doing?
Good. And in between us, it's not Jess. It's we're in good hands. Dave Watson from the racing manager here at Club Menangle. Welcome, mate.
Hey, Paul. I knew I was filling in for Jess. I had to let the headphones out about 8 holes so it would fit my head. So, yeah.
I feel surrounded by giants today. And those watching on the live stream on the Facebook stream, I'm sort of looking up to you two gentlemen.
I thought you were
wouldn't be hard.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
Literally or metaphorically, Freddie?
A bit of both.
Yes. No, nice to know. How's your week been, Fred?
Yeah,
the last 2 weeks. Because we didn't have a show last week.
That's right. Yeah. So been a good. Had the Easter period. It was a lot of stuff going on personally, but yeah, it was good to have a bit of a break.
Of course, we didn't have a show. I was crook. Jess was crook.
I was going to host it and have a couple of a one-man band. Have throw to a couple of famous sex race callers and try and impersonate them, but no, none of that.
Well, I every now and again I'm getting this runny nose kind of thing going on. I'm okay. Don't stress, but I'm okay. But
I'll get this wearing masks.
I get this runny nose thing going on. So if you're on the live stream and you see me kind of exit left to try and clear the nostrils a little bit, that'll be why. Tommy and I were doing the fantasy harness racing podcast yesterday afternoon, and there were moments where I was just thinking, Tommy, start talking, mate. I need you to pick this one up while I can ramp me down and get the mic. How you going, Mono?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
feeling good. Too much chocolate, as we all do over the Easter break. It's been some great racing.
Has been good racing, hasn't it?
We closed down here for 3 or 4 days over the Easter, but everything's ramped up.
Absolutely. All right, well, we've got a big week ahead. Let's get into it, eh? So, of course, we didn't have a race, have a podcast last week. A fair bit went on. We missed out on being able to give some attention to, Freddie. I just wanted to make a brief mention of that. Riverina Championships are on. So, there was a fairy tale result for people in the Riverina. Cameron Hart and Jared Alsham went back to where it all started for them, in the Riverina and won, I guess, one of the big two features. Great result, great drive from Cam, great training performance. And to see my ultimate Ronnie, maybe a horse that we might have potentially sort of forgotten a little bit and thought, has my ultimate Ronnie's best days been and gone, to go down and win the big race? I thought it was a really commanding performance.
He sort of emerged in the latter part of the 3-year-old season, and we were talking, as you know, 2-year-old was all about Byron, then it became all about Ronnie, and then, sort of found some tough races, but I think now we're seeing the horse, and this is where you see that transition where they go from their outstanding juvenile performances, when they start to get up to 4-year-old and 5-year-old company and into the open grade. That's when you really get an assessment of just how good these horses are, or perhaps was it more to do with their juvenile hype.
The boys are pretty happy. I spoke to them afterwards, did a little bit of video with them. They're pretty happy to be able to secure that in their own backyard. It meant a bit to them.
Yeah. Does he put himself in the, I suppose, in the eyes of slot holders for the Eureka?
Well, he was a gritty, tough.
He's always run well here. He's always gone good here, Ronnie.
Gritty, tough performance. I thought it showed a next level of character and teak. Sort of really gritty.
Yeah, the Eureka's 2,400.
Yeah.
So you've got to have a little bit of toughness about you.
He's got that.
We know that there's 3 or 4 locked
a year ago, wouldn't he? Yeah. Hey, another huge result on that program was first ever winner for young Kai Bloomfield, $151.
$151. Like, surely the parents and the family had a couple of dollars of that.
You'd like to think so. It's funny, you get these young ones looking for their first win, and often the stable they're aligned to will try and gift them, so to speak, a nice easy drive, a nice winning chance to get that that confidence boost and get their first win. Kai's jumped on 150 to 1 pop, and he's done the job. So
fantastic.
It was a final too, wasn't it? It wasn't a final of a race, a 2-win or a 5-win.
Yeah, it was.
$20,000
It was a final for heats and finals.
So Admirable was the horse. Yeah. Ellen Bartley's the trainer. I'll tell you what, Ellen's not his mum, but may as well be. Like, she just mothers these.
Wasn't she proud?
Oh, she was. It was fantastic. I went out and got a photo with her, a little bit of video. It was fantastic. We mentioned Cameron Hart. Cam and Jack brief. Obviously, the big race was over in Western Australia, the Nullarbor. We went 1-2 with Better Zip It and Spirit of St. Louis.
There was a little bit of argy-bargy in the media leading up to it, because Grimo had said probably a week and a half ago, I'm coming over, the horse is basically unbeatable, I'm coming over to get some of that money. And then Gary Hall Sr. come out and said, there's no fronts there. He said, I don't rate the Raiders from the East Coast. I don't think they'll get the front. I think we'll dominate the race. What are they coming over for? And then all of a sudden, the East Coast boys are gone 1-2 in a very, very dominant display.
It was brilliant, and to say that let's face it, Spirit of St. Louis has run placings in the past 2 Miracle Miles, second in the past 2 Miracle Miles, and we saw Better Zip It put the writing on the wall with that sub 150 dominance before that. So it was a brave comment by.
But I like it. It was good
by Senior. But the thing is, that's what
great.
you want. You want that. It's a bit like a boxing title fight. Trash talk that goes on,
there was a little bit.
And there was a little bit of that leading into it, but that you kind of want that because it creates that interest within, the enthusiasts who then, you get your WA people sort of, making little comments and barbs, and it becomes banter, all fun, all nice and above board, but it just adds to it, and I love it. I love it.
It was set up. They obviously set the race up, and then it became that drag race at the end. The 2 New South Wales.
I think maybe they underestimated Spirit St. Louis' gate speed.
Yeah.
A lot of them did, because they come out, but Jack turned the handlebars down and he crossed them pretty easy, and it's only a short run to that first turn there.
Yeah.
I think they just underestimated how fast that horse can come out.
2 good mates. Made the trip across. Yeah, what we make of the fist bump after the race?
I think that was, how do you feel? Cop that.
Oh, look, and both had their one comes second, but he had his chance, Spirit of St. Louis, to get him in the last 100 metres, and he had a good shot at him and just wasn't quite there. But great result for New South Wales.
And the concepts, greyhounds, gallops, and harness all kind of working in unison with 3 big ticket items on the same.
Well, the greyhounds and the trots were on the same night, I think, weren't they? And then straight into the gallops, which created its own controversy early in the week with the barrier draws and all that controversy, which once again got people watching it. I think it was a New South Wales horse that won that as well, wasn't it? Overpass?
It was. Overpass. By an absolute nostril, an eyelash.
Yeah. But different. It'd be interesting. They'll get their figures and KPIs and see how it went for them.
Absolutely. All right, well, big week of racing here, guys. Hey, Luke McCarthy was back, but as good as we come to expect when he turns up at Menangle. Probably slipped under the radar a little bit because we haven't seen Luke in action here at headquarters for a few weeks. Double at Menangle on Saturday night. He had a treble at Newcastle on Friday. So, big week for Luke. And anyone who picked him up in fantasy harness racing, I didn't, unfortunately. I know Tommy Swiderski did, who won the round, and that was his big ticket item, getting Luke into the team. So, good week for Luke. Will Rickson, Freddie, I know that you were in awe of how well Will's going. So treble at Menangle on Tuesday. Him and Robbie Morris both had doubles at Penrith on Thursday. So, big week for Will.
Oh, look, I think he is probably the form driver. We all know how good Cam's going, and Luke's obviously hit that vein of form. I spoke to Luke 2 weeks ago, and he said things are just starting to really turn for the stable. They've got a lot of their stars coming back, Expensive Ego's back in work, and a few other horses. So you'll see Luke in the winner stall quite a bit, but Will's just driving them so confidently at the moment, and it's really showing the success he's having and the confidence that success is giving him. It's really transforming into what he's doing on the racetrack. I think he is probably the form driver and a must for fantasy harness racing players.
Well, he won the Club Menangle medal there.
He did.
He's been outstanding.
Just around Miracle Mile time.
Yep.
Since then, he's
again, it's probably been since
confidence.
then. Yep. About Feb,
It couldn't happen to a nice young man too. He just carries himself so well. He's respectful. He's articulate. Love the way he goes about his business. Amanda Turnbull, another big week for her. 4 winners at Bathurst on Wednesday. It included a dead heat with Angela Hurst was involved in that one. Now, Freddie, we had 2 dead heats in 2 days, one at Tamworth as well. You see more races than anyone. That's fairly unique.
Yeah, look, it's very rare to get a dead heat at a race meeting. It's very rare to get a dead heat in a week, a week of race meetings. But to get 2 dead heats, consecutive days, very, very unusual occurrence. You don't see them that often. And with the technology that we have now in terms of photo finish available to the judges, it can get them. If there's a margin, they'll find it. If there's no margin and it's a dead heat, well, it's a dead heat.
How do you go about your work when it's so close?
Well, we had a couple of close photos here on
last Tuesday. There was nearly a triple, wasn't there?
There was.
Tish and Raider race?
Yeah, Tish and Raider on the inside. It was, and now this is. I'm sure the image is on the results page. Yep. But if you have a look at that photo, you had Glenn McElhenney was on the inside. Then you the driver of the next horse eludes me, and then Robbie Morris was on the outside. So the way the photo finish went, it was nose, nose, nose. But if you looked at the image, the drivers, Robbie Morris, who ran third, he was actually in front of the second driver, who was in front of the. It was just the way the horses and the image was caught. The sulkies
are different lengths.
Yeah,
they can vary
so
up to
it's deceptive. So as a caller, you must not focus on that because you can get caught out badly, and you've got to focus on. The noses of the horses, and you've got a lot of photo finish or a lot of broadcast boxes for the race callers, and this is everywhere, and not just limited to harness racing. They're not always on the line.
They're not lined up.
So you've got to, as a race caller, in a split second, you've got to try and make a judgment call on how wide the horses are from the peg line, the true mark of the photo, and then stagger in your mind where they add on. Do you add on, half a head, a nose? You got to do it all in a split second to try and make a split second judgment. It's
People
not
rely on it too. They rely on your call.
Yeah, absolutely.
For punters, and it's a bit like a referee.
Well, we had two noses on Saturday.
Egg on your face.
You've got to get it right,
especially with all the coverage you have. You can go from one race to the next like that.
Yeah.
So they've relied on his call because nothing goes up on the Sky Channel picture for
until the official. Until we
they're relying on what.
Yeah.
So do you feel compelled to make put your opinion on the line and say, I think it's this one?
I think, Paul, on Saturday I went, fortunately, there were two photos and I went the right way both times. I just want to say two things real quickly. Number one, there's nothing extra in my pay packet if I'm right. But if you're wrong, by gee, don't people blow up and tell you that you're an idiot and you got it wrong.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say, and this is applicable to every race caller of every code everywhere, is we're not robots and we will make mistakes.
Yep.
And as I said, in a split second, you're trying to make a judgment call. We don't always get it right. Fortunately, I think every race caller has a pretty high percentage of getting photos wrong. But if I really am not sure, and I think sometimes you see a photo and they could be wide apart and you go, could be a dead heat. I've been very fortunate, probably, I don't know, half a dozen times in my career where I thought, I can't split this, and I'll go, could be a dead heat. This is close to a dead heat, and the judge can't separate them, and it is a dead heat. That's an even better feeling sometimes than getting one right.
I just know as a consumer of racing, and I'm watching a lot of racing, and it happens a lot more in the gallops. I hear race callers a lot. Could be a dead heat, and my mind straight away goes, yeah, but what are the odds of that? That actually isn't very common. It seems like an easy get out.
Look, sometimes it is because you really don't know, and it comes back to what Wano said. If you get it wrong, like I said, no one says, "Oh, well done, Fred, you got those three nose photos right." Yeah. But if you get one wrong, and you've only got to open up your Twitter and see, what a dill you are because you couldn't get the photo right. But I could get it right from home watching the two replays, and we're making a decision live as it's happening, and we've got to sort of stand by that. So look, that's just the way it is. It's part of the job, and I wouldn't have another job for all the world.
Freddie, you don't get it wrong very often. That's why you're the best in the business, mate. Hey, Dougie Hewitt, he didn't get it too wrong at Dubbo on Friday. Oh, the treble there. Double at Tamworth on Thursday for Brad Elder. Just a quick word. Brad was one of the drivers involved in a bit of a nasty crash there at Newcastle on Friday night. There was a handful of drivers. Fortunately, most... Okay, thoughts with Jason Harmey, who was at the front of that, and his horse, obviously. But so fortunately, Brad's one that is all good to go going forward. Blake Jones and Jackson Painting, they both got doubles at Junee on Tuesday. Now, Jacko, I think if you had him in your fantasy team like I do, you would have been hoping that Kuhlman was in the game on Sunday,
wasn't it?
He won the first four. He had
Kuhlman wasn't in.
No, he had a $1.40 favourite in the fifth, and it actually ended up going backwards when it looked like it was going to win. He looked like he was 5 in a row there to start that program.
I've stuck loyal to Jacko the whole fantasy, up to around 14 or 15 or something, and I've stuck loyal. But when I see that, I think, why wasn't that part of it?
Well, one of them, and I could be wrong, there was 3 different trainers. And one of them, it wasn't as if they were all favourites. One was 41 to 1. There was
He's
another
a
one
top
was
driver.
$10, $12.
Yeah, no, he had a good day out. It was a good day out for Blake Jones too. He had a double on that program, and Mitchie Turnbull double on that Coolaman card as well. Now, between Jackson, Blake Jones and Mitch Turnbull, they had the trifecta in the Coolaman Cup. It was kind of a Cups day there. That one was won by Brooklyn Bridge for Blake Jones did the driving on that one. So well done to everyone involved in that. Now, guys, speaking of Carnival at Cups, now, as we know, the floods that went through the Western region late last year meant that this Tuesday coming, the traditional Anzac Day program was supposed to be at Forbes. Now, all the usual elements of what is the Forbes Carnival at Cups race meeting will still go ahead. So you'll have the Anzac Day parade, the last post, like all the great nod to tradition and respectful process that the Forbes Club always deliver. But so their track is rendered out of play at the moment because of the floods. But what's incredible is, as we know, Eugowra as a town pretty much got levelled. And so many people have done it tough with losing their homes and their possessions and everything they own. But the track survived. It's incredible. So what we've done is we've moved that Forbes race meeting to Eugowra, and Eugowra will host that on behalf of Forbes. And what we've done is we've turned that into an initiative which we've called Flood Relief 23. And it is a massive fundraising campaign to raise money for the Western region. There will be, Eugowra put on a great show, as we know, Carnival at Cups. It's like going to the Ekka, or the Easter show in Eugowra. What Jody and the team do there with, Dodgem cars, face painting, entertainment, bands, you name it, VIP experience, trackside marquee, that'll all be there, plus everything that Forbes had. It's going to be fantastic. Now, what we've also done is we've added a Drivers Invitational Series, and we have got 10 of the best drivers in Australia are going to compete in 2 races on that track in Eugowra. Fantastic for the people of Eugowra. They're going to see, so the last 2 Inter-Dominion champions, Cameron Hart and Josh Gallagher, Robbie Morris, such an esteemed pedigree over the last decade in this state. And then we're also going to have Bernie Hewitt, Amanda and Nathan Turnbull, Grace Pinella and Blake Hughes, 2 of the rising stars of what's going on across the state up there in the Hunter region. Jack Callaghan, obviously we just talked about Jack and what he did over in Western Australia, but we're also going to have Mat Rue, who 10 years ago won the Miracle Mile with Baby Bling. He's a regular race participant there at Eugowra, Canola Cup winner. Matty's on the line with us. G'day, Matty.
Morning, fellas. How you going?
Good, mate. Hey, mate, you've just heard me going on about how good this Drivers Invitational Series. When I contacted you and said I want to get you involved in this, you jumped at it. You were, there was no hesitation in being part of this. Mate, it's going to be something special, isn't it?
It sure is. Like any kind of race invitation that you're involved in is always special and a privilege to be in, but this one's just got a bit more meaning to it. Anzac Day races at Forbes are always a huge day anyway, but obviously moved to Eugowra this year, just going to have that little bit extra to it, and the guys out that way just found it so tough there for a period, and I'm sure some people still are, so it's going to be a huge chore to be able to tip a bit of money back into them again.
Good calibre of drivers, 10 of the best in the state, mate. You certainly belong in that category. That's going to be very cool for the race goers, I think, to see you guys as 10 elite, ambassadors for our sport and plying their trade on that Eugowra track. We know they always get a good crowd. I think you guys and yourself are going to pull an even bigger crowd. That's going to be fantastic to see how you guys go about your business on that Eugowra track, because this has never happened before, and it might never happen again.
No, that's right. It's a funny little track. It's obviously the 800 and that, but it's got a good surface on it, and they do a terrific job of getting it ready. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. Like as you said, there's any driver from 1 to 10 there you'd have on any horse in any race in the country at any time. So, but obviously, with what Cameron's achieving at the moment, literally the world's his oyster as far as driving goes at the moment. So there'll be a lot of people out there sort of not even harness racing. People are going to know who he is, recognise his colours and you name it. So, great crew to get him out there, and then even Josh and Robbie, all them kind of guys.
Hey, Matty, yeah, Wano here, mate. You're going to enjoy the local knowledge of the track, though. These guys, these city boys, they're used to driving on 1,400-metre tracks and 1,000-metre tracks. As you said, the Eugowra track, probably a bit smaller than what they're used to. Local knowledge is going to go a long way for you.
Yeah, look, it will to a degree. Obviously, fence is key on most of these tracks. If you get wide and they're coming home in good sections, you're not going to be going forward at all. So fence is key. Being in front's a big advantage as well. But obviously, knowing a bit about it's always a big help. But drivers of this calibre, no matter where they go, they're going to fit in and sort of know how things are going to pan out anyway. So it's going to be a great day's racing, and barrier draws and horse quality are going to be a big key to who takes it out.
So I'll tell you how that's going to happen. So Thursday there's going to be a random draw. So 2 barrels, driver and horse. So then almost like if there's an invitational series here at Menangle, Wano. So we'll pair up a driver with a horse and we'll do the barrier draw Thursday afternoon. So that's going to be intriguing, Matty, to see where you draw. And which horse you're on as well.
Should be good.
Yeah, that's right. That adds a little bit of interest again. Just better not bugger it up like the clocker.
So we're going to have a points. Yes. Hey, we choose not to throw interstate barbs around here, but hey, when we can, why not? Eh? And we won't mention what happened in Queensland either. So. No. We don't get it wrong, do we, Wano?
No, ever.
No, we never get it wrong here in New South Wales. So the other thing that we've done is there'll be a point system attached to this. So 10 drivers, so 10 to 1, and after 2 races, who knows? We'll come up with a winner of the 2-race Drivers Invitational Series. You guys, Matty, will also be wearing specially commissioned colours. There's a sponsor on. Each one of you are being supported by a sponsor and a business who, not just in that Western region, I must say, there's been businesses around Australia who've come on board, and so you'll be wearing a set of colours with your name on them, a sponsor. You'll be representing that sponsor. You'll sign them at the end. You'll give the colours to the sponsor, and they'll be able to frame them up and put them on the wall. I can tell you guys that process has raised $15,000 in itself just on the colours. Wow! In being able to put a sponsor on those colours, put $15,000 cash into the Western Flood Relief Appeal. The other thing, Matty, is there's a fantastic poster that's been made. I showed Freddie before he came on air. It is unbelievable what our designer Jordan has put together, and that will be available for racegoers. So we'll give them out for free, and you guys will be available to sign.
What a great idea! They do that in the States, Paul. They get these posters made of the top drivers that go around, and I've always thought it would be, and I think I might have even said it to you, it'd be a great thing if we really showcased our drivers. Now you've got at Eugowra the elite.
Yeah,
you've got the elite drivers there, and what a moment it would be for racegoers to capture those autographs.
So we'll give them a poster, and we'll have the Sharpies there, Matty. So hope you got your autograph fine-tuned, mate, and maybe. But kids seem to want a selfie these days. They all want the selfie. So, mate, I hope you bring your best smile as well.
Yeah, always got the smile on, mate.
Now, so we'll do that. Sky Racing Active coverage for 5 hours also on Tuesday afternoon. So now we've got Eugowra on, but Coolaman's running concurrently. So about every 15 minutes on Sky Racing Active, you're going to see a New South Wales race. Amanda Rando and I will be hosting the coverage there at Eugowra, and what we'll do is we want to show off not necessarily the racing, but this is a community event with a grander cause of raising money. Matty will get people like you on the coverage to talk about why you've decided to donate your time is what you guys have done. And I don't think people should underestimate that. These drivers, these 10 drivers in the Drivers Invitational Series, particularly, Grace, and think about how far Grace Pinella and Blake Hughes have to travel to get there to be part of this. And they're giving up their time, and their efforts to be part of this because it means a lot to them. Because, Matty, as you know, you and several others have been donating money to this cause since last year when it all devastated those towns, haven't you?
Yeah, that's for sure. I think a lot of people got right around it and really done as much as they can. And I know I wasn't the only one. There's quite a few of us who even, nominated a horse, so to speak, and X amount of its prize money went to it for a couple of months there. And luckily the one I'd done, she had a good few months, so she tipped in a bit for him, and it was great. But I think the one thing I've touched on along the way too is, it's all well and good for money to be getting tipped in early days and that, but what worries me is 2 and 3 years down the track, people still aren't going to be on their feet. So days like this, to continue putting money into the community, I reckon it's just great.
Yeah. No, you guys have done an amazing job. It's people, I just mentioned Grace Panella and Blake Hughes, and they're up in Newcastle. They're not even close to where this has been, these towns have been impacted. Now, how many times, Fred, have people talked about the campaign that Michael Dumacy was at the forefront of early doors? This is what we're talking about. This is hinging off the back of that, where Michael got in touch with so many drivers and said, hey, what can you do? A young bloke like Josh Gallagher, for example, it was a no-brainer for Robbie and Josh when I asked them, will you be part of this? Jack and Cameron as well. Yes, we're in. And they've already been giving money. So Josh won't be running through Menangalia telling people how much money he's donated to this, but I can tell you it's really significant. We're talking across the board, these guys, and with an auction that Michael led the charge on in Parks going back sort of a month or so ago, we're talking our industry in New South Wales has already raised somewhere close to $100,000 before this event has even happened.
It's amazing.
Now, that's not going just into harness racing people. That's going into the broader community. Yeah. And that doesn't even account for when these floods happened, people like Michael and other people were going out to nearby towns with utes, filling them up with air mattresses and non-perishable items and those type of things, and then going into Eugowra and Forbes and saying, here, how can we help you? Have an air mattress. Have some food. Have these basics.
Makes you very proud to be part of.
So, mate, I'm so proud that our organisation collectively has done this. And, Matty, you guys are doing great things, mate.
Yeah, look, it's been a big team effort for everyone, and obviously, when you got a large number of horses in work, it was hard to get out there and be on the ground and help the clean up and that. But monetary, sort of contributions were as good as a lot of us could do. But I just sort of want to touch on too, like the effort that Michael did. He had a lot of people around him. I know, like Carly Turnbull, Michaela Barnes, and a number of people from our way were contributing to taking things over and that. But Michael really did sort of start that, and he was the go-to man as to what they need next and when they need it. And I'd hate to know the time and countless hours he put into it. And I think for people travelling to Eugowra on the day, like, just do a lap around the town on your way in or your way out. Like, obviously things are tidied up a lot now to what they were, but you'll still be able to get the gist of, where houses once stood and things like that. Like, it literally was like a movie. Like, had to be seen to be believed, and you just don't think it's going to happen to anyone near or around you,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that hit home for me. Jody Greenhalgh's, who we mentioned at the Eugowra Club. So there's a company nearby here called Easy Signs, just around the corner from us at Smeaton Grange. They are donating something like nearly $10,000 worth of signage for us to do up this event. They have been incredible. They're giving us this stuff.
Donated,
and
wow.
Robbie Morris is going to have Easy Signs on his colours on Tuesday, actually. So Easy Signs said to me, well, where do we want this delivered? So I rang Jody and said, I need an address. And I said, is that your place? She said, no, I've got it. Don't have a house. I'm living with mum. Living with mum, like this is what people are going through, So there's businesses like Parks Couriers, the Ophir Hotel, the Coachman Hotel. They're all on board. Michael Brown, who's such a great supporter of harness racing here and in around the area, he's on board with his company, Michael Brown Planning Strategies. Highland have donated colours, for the cause. The rehoming company here have got on board. Mates for Harness is a great cause that Morris Logue heads up for us at Harness Racing New South Wales. So, some really, really generous people around the place have got on board. Nutrien are one that literally within 10 seconds they said, yep, we're in. Count us in. So, Matty, can't wait to see you out there on Tuesday, mate. Can't wait to see this race play out. Hey, just before we let you go, mate, it is 10 years since you won the Miracle Mile with Baby Bling. Where's that time gone?
Yeah, I know. It's gone fast, hasn't it? You sort of, as the year goes by, you don't sort of think how big of a thing it was until it rolls around again. Like, sort of the day that it's on and that, when it's run and won, you still sort of shake your head and think, I still can't believe what happened. And,
Matty, we've got proof. We got proof for you because there's a photo that'll never be taken down on the Miracle Mile wall, and it's you saluting with Baby Bling. It'll be there forever, mate.
Just a big salute, bit of a carry on, but I'd do it again.
I might be right. You won the APG final on the same day, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Let us
Let us rock them. It was. Yeah. I hadn't driven a Group 1 winner before that day either. I'd had a handful of placings, and then he sort of made the day, though, to be honest, because I was pretty nervous for him. I hadn't sat behind him before. So I was living in Queensland at the time. I had a group of Luke's horses up there.
Yep.
I'd never seen Let Us Rock Down before, and he come up favourite, barrier 1, and he had a few tricks up his belt too. And so, yeah, I was pretty nervous for him. And then he was jumping shadows in the warm-up and everything, which made it work.
It was a day meeting. Yeah,
it was a Sunday afternoon, yeah.
Yep.
That's right. And the flags were blowing shadows on the track, and anyway, he kept popping them. And I remember Luke saying, "Oh, he'll be right. He'll be going too quick to worry about that." I thought
We'd know. Yeah.
Anyway, so when he won, I was just on cloud 9, you know what I mean? And she wasn't expected to do anything at all, so it was just a free rein to go out and have fun. And yeah, I don't think you'd possibly have any more fun you could try it.
What about? I know you're a big fan of the sprint lane, Matt, and you probably watch the live stream. We've got the sprint lane banners behind us as backdrops, and there is Mat Rue, an image of Mat Rue. I hope you're getting royalties, Matt.
Yeah, that's right.
Put an invoice in.
The face of the show.
Yeah, that I actually didn't realise until Paul pointed it out to me one day after Cara tried. Actually, so yeah,
Only the good-looking fellas, mate. Make that.
It's actually a trained horse that the photo's on too. One of Grant Jarvis's actually.
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate. That's that photo was taken at Bathurst actually on during the Inter Dominion campaign there, and it just is framed up beautifully. It's forever the cover art of our humble podcast, Freddie. So
absolutely, Matt. Just before we let you go, mate, you sort of expanded your team, and you're not afraid to travel. You've made several. You know, you obviously travel within the Central West, but you'll often come down to Penrith, and you've raced here. That's an important thing for you to spread your wings far and wide, and to place your horses the best possible place you can to get the best earn for your owners. The travel, how long is a round trip for you, and a day start and finish for you?
Yeah, obviously, same as everyone. We do have some crazy big days in that. Penrith's not too bad. I don't go down there often. Like, to go down to Penrith, you sort of got to have one or two on board that you're really confident, even with a bad barrier, maybe they're a chance. Luckily, the last few times we've gone down there, we've had a bit of success. I think one night we took 4 down and 3 of them won, and the next week we took 4 down and didn't get a check. So that's how it can go. But that's with everywhere though. So Penrith's only about 2 1/4 away, so it's plenty reachable. And Dubbo's the furthest one that we go on a regular basis. It's about 240, and Parks is 2 1/4 as well. So at the end of a long day's work, that's probably the hardest thing with the travel. It's all the work that you've done before you go. You've sort of done a day's work before you get in the truck and head off. But no one makes us do it. We do it because we want to, and there's tough days in it, but there's also some super rewarding days.
Yeah, Matty, can't wait to see you on Tuesday, mate. Again, I know we've banged on about this, but we can't underestimate the sacrifice and the generosity of you guys and girls who are giving up your time to participate in this Driver Invitational Series. I know you'll be participating in other races on the day as well. Can't wait to see it all play out, and mate, you're doing great things. So safe travels, and we'll see you there on Tuesday.
No worries, fellas, and special thanks to those guys that are travelling far and wide for it. They don't have much to do at all with the Eugowra and the Central West community, but still willing to pack things up and come for a day out. So thanks, everyone.
Good on you, Matty. We'll see you on Tuesday.
See you, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Guys, we've got to rattle through this show, Freddie, because
they're on the track for the first, aren't they?
We started early today,
12:07.
What's the best thing you saw this week, Freddie?
I've got no doubt it was the Quinella and the Nullarbor, 2 outstanding New South Wales performers, trained locally here and driven by 2 of our very best in the business. It was lovely. I know we're all parochial, and we love our own. We love our own, but it was just, for me, it was just special to see us go 1-2 and better zip. It's a serious racehorse.
Yeah. Before you do yours, Wano.
Who sang that one? Do you remember?
Oh, I thought we had. I only played it because I thought, well, we've got someone on who'll actually know.
Jess had no clue, and I thought, you'll know.
Boom Crash Opera.
Oh, it is too, isn't it?
Yeah. Jeez.
That's the only reason I played it, because I thought,
Holy
finally,
Grail.
we've got someone
Someone
to
will know.
No,
they did.
Hunters and
Those Hunters and
Collectors.
Collectors did the
Yeah,
Holy
so I
Grail.
was very good at all
Freddie.
the musical
I
questions.
thought we'd upgraded when it came to music.
Molly Meldrum, he ain't.
Well, no.
Do yourself a favour.
Where's your hat?
Yeah.
All right, what's the
me gear
best thing? What's the best thing you saw this week?
Oh, look, it's pretty hard to go past the Nullarbor result.
Yeah.
Cronulla beating Roosters was a really good
Oh,
result.
turn it up. That's harsh.
Was a
I
great
thought we were
result.
going to get through.
Go the Sharkies. Yeah, no, it's pretty hard to go past that Nullarbor result. Fantastic result for the boys.
And Freddie, I know you've got your harness race, fancy harness racing, because the lockout's at midday today.
Yeah, midday, so 32
not far,
minutes.
And you've got to get up into the callers box. How's your week gone?
Yeah, sitting about, well, I slipped down got up to about 81st, and I was doing laps around the lounge room. But by the week's end here at Menangle, I was walking out of the track with my bottom lip dragging on the ground. I made a few technical errors, and geez, you've got to be across everything, folks.
Yeah,
With this, you've really got to be across everything, and you've got to know, who's in, who's out, where they are, where they're not. And I got caught out. But I've loaded my team big time this week, particularly the metro area, with some of the best.
I think what I've noticed, it's rewarding students, but it's creating students of our sport as well.
And that's what it was designed to do.
Yeah,
create
exactly.
that interest for the the not rusted on harness racing supporter. It's creating interest for those that were fringe, and now they're right into it.
It's a pretty standard race sort of program this week for the game, with 2 Menangles, the Penrith, Wagga, Newcastle and Bathurst, which is kind of the template. Next week, triple points galore with the APG finals up for grabs.
Big 10 race program.
We're also going to put some extra points around that Eugowra Drivers Invitational Series too. So next week's a game shaker and mover, I think.
When are we going to get more than 3 trades?
Oh, I did it once for you, Freddie.
Yeah, maybe you should do it again. It's getting harder and harder.
Just a quick reflection on the game. I know that you don't have a team in it, but you hear a lot about it, don't you?
Yeah, it's great. I just love the young people's participation.
Yep.
And how they get involved with it. And it's a talk of, they're talking at schools. Or, you hear the mini trot kids talking about it.
Yeah.
I think it's just it's a great entry into acknowledging what these drives are doing from these young kids' point of view.
Yep.
I just think it's a great initiative that you've invented there, mate.
It's fantastic. All right, this week, 10 races this afternoon. As we said, it starts really soon. So, Freddie, both you gentlemen have got a very prominent role in getting the first up and going. 10 races this afternoon, including heats of the APG Gold Bullion Series, Fred.
Yeah, good program, real good program. Some good horses on display, and I think it's a fill up today for fantasy harness racing with some of the drivers. I think Jay Trainer's got a pretty prominent hand today, and a few others. So.
Yep. 1-8 should be a good card. This afternoon.
Look, the boys, I think both heats have got 4 winners in both heats. It's only the first 2 that go through to the final. $400,000 plus $100,000 bonus, vendors bonuses there, plus time incentive bonuses as well. Massive prize money here next Saturday. But really important first 2 from those races.
Ravishing Sloy going around?
No, I don't think.
Oh,
yes, it is.
It's all Ravishing Sloy. That's one of your black
and
ones.
Sarah
Sarah T. Sloy.
Yeah, Sarah to Sloy.
Yes,
is there.
And there was heats conducted yesterday at Melton.
Yeah.
Dominated, of course, by Emma Stewart.
Yes.
Boys heats.
Yep.
155 and 156.
Yeah.
Very dominating. They'll be up here next week. So the boys' final is going to be outstanding.
Yeah. Sarah to Sloy's in, Ravishing Sloy's in. We've got some of those horses we saw go around.
Next Monday we race.
So to speak. Yeah, next
Anzac
Monday.
Day. So we've got the 3 and 4-year-old heats next Monday here at Menangle.
Yeah, that's
important. I was going to mention that. So we've got young tonight, Bathurst on Wednesday, Penrith Thursday, Wagga Dubbo and Newcastle on Friday. So huge. Goulburn on Sunday. As you said, Wano, Menangle moves to Monday because we've got Coolman and Eugowra with Anzac Day on Tuesday. So, of course, Saturday night here at Menangle going to be a massive night here again, isn't it?
Yeah, massive.
Yep.
Really good racing.
All right. Anything to keep an eye out for? Our Black Book Queen is not here with us today, Freddie. She has been on the text the text chat with us. Letting us know
she lets
when
us
does
know.
well.
She doesn't want to let it go.
But then in fairness, I did point out that Paint Me a Reason was mine 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, and Aldebaran Test was mine 2 weeks ago. So I did remind Jess that she's not the only one that can.
What do you got for us this week?
I'm going to go to Penrith, and in the first race, a horse who's down dramatically, I think, in grade, draws well, Catastrophe. Goes well at Penrith. Cam Hart's listed to drive. Catastrophe for me.
Fantastic. Wano, anything
I
you've
do
noticed?
listen to the number one race caller in Australia, Freddie Hastings, occasionally. And he did
You're the
mention-
one.
Not all the time, but especially in the close results, no. But I did hear him mention a horse, very unlucky here, last Saturday night. It's in this Saturday night, Majestic Trio, Brad Hewitt in the trot. Got lost due
Buried
to
away.
circumstance, rattled home for fourth. And it's just down a touch in grade this Saturday night. Race 8, number 8.
Brad Hewitt brings one to Menangle. I normally take notice too. Like he normally doesn't go
Just the
too
way
far
that
wrong,
race
does he?
was run, just getting shuffled out the back, and by the time he got into the clear, the bird had flown, but gee, he hit the line harder than just about anything at the meeting.
Yep, okay. All right, guys. Wano, thanks for stepping in for Jess today.
No worries.
I'm sure the
Pleasure.
listeners appreciate it. Freddie, you've got a big afternoon that starts in a couple of minutes, so we've got to get you out of here, don't we?
Yeah, I'll jog up the stairs, set up.
Go
It'll be
on.
right. No,
Go
it
on.
shan't be. What did the late, great Ken Howard say? Don't take odds on and don't run upstairs.
So, obviously you got your radio commitments, but huge race, huge afternoon of racing here. As we said, we've got massive week of racing, all leading up to Anzac Day at Eugowra. Please keep an eye out on the social media for Harness Racing New South Wales. If you feel compelled to donate to that cause, we'll show how you can go about doing that, even if you can't get out there. But hey, Anzac Day trip out to, you can pay your respects to the Anzacs at the race day. Have a bit of fun. Bring the kids. It's going to be something for everyone. You're going to see a really, really unique history-making race series with 10 of the best in the country all going around on that Eugowra track. Should be fantastic. Can't wait to bring it to you. And of course, Sky Racing Active. If you can't get there, that's where you'll see the whole day, and we'll try and show off all the fun and colour and the racing and everything with a little bit of Coolaman thrown in as well. So
That's good.
Guys, have a good week.
See you next week.
To everyone
Thanks,
listening, thanks for your time. And please give us a like, share, follow, something like that. If you feel like you're enjoying the show, share the good news and let everyone know that the Sprint Lane exists as a podcast for harness racing here in New South Wales. We love bringing it to you. We can't wait to... Actually, we won't have a show next week either, Freddie.
Yes.
Should let the listeners know. We won't have a show
Because
next week
of
because of the Anzac Day.
Anzac.
I'm going to be at Eugowra and Mondays when we're racing at Menangle, so we won't be here. So we'll catch you again in a fortnight on the Sprint Lane. Until then, bye-bye.